just when you think, you know what, they can't mess up anymore, right? They can't do anything stupider, right? They do. I can't believe it, but they did. In this instance, recently, they were accused of using AI to translate, to localize into every single major language. And then now, let's just go ahead and take a look. Infinity Nikki is not only using AI for their translation, but apparently also for their art. Really? Infinity Nikki used AI? Well, I mean, I think they were using AI to translate and localize the game into different languages, the text, and then the actual like in-game conversations, the names, everything. I bet people will defend this considering what happened last time. Yes. So there are idiots in every single gacha community chat that will defend every bad thing a game does. This time, luckily not. There really is a difference in making a comment or a post, I guess, or the toxic Nickies were all asleep. I guess let's take a look. Who would have expected that? The translations are hilarious. Yeah. Using AI as a company makes sense, but for the love of God, check it for errors. Yeah, so I mean, you're asking a lot of these companies, Carmi. Check something before publishing it. You make it seem like they're professional multi-million-dollar companies. All right, so here's the image in question. I guess let's screenshot this so we can increase the size. What are we looking at? Oh, I mean, like I agree. What? Okay, sure. Yeah, the bridge. Check the fence over. Yeah, wait, the bridge there is, what the fuck is that? Wait, the fences? What is even going on there? Try to find and then I'm so confused as to what half of this is even supposed to be. Like the fencing, and then the bridge isn't part of it's not even a bridge. And then what is this cementing by the water, or the building going up into, or is that like is it supposed to be reflecting the mountains? Is that what it's supposed to be reflecting? Because that does not look like a mountain. That looks like a building. And this weird ass log in the tree and the trees that don't even, like, the bamboo or the tree here just completely disappearing and turning into a rectangular log. Like, if they're using AI for translations, why stop there? Valid. Let's see what people are saying though. It really looks like they did, which is really disappointing. The biggest tells are the floating rough in the top left. Yep. Whatever the fuck that is. The weird fence under the house. Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe that's just maybe that was like an architectural problem, right? Maybe the fence underneath the house was just, an interesting design choice. Right? We can write it off as that. The weird broken bamboo on the right, which, yep. I mean, maybe someone just went through there with, like, this is China, right? Maybe they had like a sword and they just decided they were gonna cut that specific part of the bamboo in half. It's disappointing to see, especially after their last controversy, which their last controversy was actually the use of AI translations. Didn't lads also use AI art? I wouldn't be surprised if they use it in Nikki too. Disappointed because art is a whole fucking point of a dress-up game, but not really surprised. Didn't they literally get art commissioned for their collab to something? Chat, could y'all imagine if in the future, in a future update, the next stage of the, I don't want to say evolution of Infinity Nikki, but de-evolution, I think, of Infinity Nikki is to then use AI to design the dresses. So you know how they increased the pity from 180 to 220? It costs more now for the some of the new dresses. Wouldn't it be hilarious if in the future they didn't even have real people designing the outfits, and instead decided to just pocket the money themselves as just profit, rather than investing it into creating better quality outfits? Take a look at the town scenes in Lads. They're both inconsistent between scenes. It makes no sense if you look them too long. Lads 100% uses AI. It looks like it doesn't. That's upsetting. We already knew that they were using AI translation for every language except Chinese and English. Even with English, I think they're using AI translation. I'll be so pissed if this is true. To do it on an event that seems so deeply cultural is insulting. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. They've been using machine translation instead of hiring translators in languages for a while. Yep. Floating roof and choppy bamboo and unfinished bridge makes it seem like it. Seriously disappointed since previously it seemed like they're against using it. I mean, they definitely did not seem like they were against using AI. Nope. This is where I quit the game. Or that is when I quit the game. Nice random AI blobs as outfits. But I mean, at the same time, like, let's be honest here. Is the AI, the blatant, rampant use and abuse of AI in Infinity Nikki and Love and Deep Space going to change anything? Are people going to stop spending money? Because you look at the revenue for Love and Deep Space, and again, this is a purely speculative website that uses speculative information, but you look at the numbers and you're like, Love and Deep Space is making a considerable amount of money. And then you scroll down to Infinity Nikki, which is, I believe, in the top 25. It's up 13 positions. Even with the boycott going on, it made almost $7 million on mobile only, disregarding PlayStation, disregarding PC. By the logic here used to determine that Wuwa, Zenless, Genshin, and every other cross-platform compatible game are making triple or more across each platform, this right here being almost 7 million is very likely to be 20, 30, 40 million dollars or more, because a lot more people are spending on the PlayStation Store, on PC. Makes sense, right? You get mostly female fan base and those rarely care. I mean, that's not true, actually. If you go to social media, or Reddit, the females that played Infinity Nikki during the release of the Sea of Stars update, so the beginning of like 1.5 or 1.6, I forget which, they were livid. There were so many women that were involved in that it hit like national news. It was covered by dozens of different non-Infinity Nikki content creators that went on to get 40, 50, 100,000 views. It was covered by people all over social media, Twitter, Reddit. I mean, it blew up, and that was all because of the women that were trying to bring this to the forefront of the genre so more people knew about what was going on. I think that women were the driving factor behind the reason that everyone decided to acknowledge that this was going on. There were a lot of females that were very ardently against it and very vocal in how much they express their discontent with the situation. The game is starting to take steps in the right direction, but still has a long way to go. A lot of people are going back to spending again. Yeah, I know. That's concerning because they still haven't addressed, a lot of the issues that people had. Saying women later spend $1. They did. Yeah, the women spent money. And you know why? That's because they're stupid. Not because they're women. Men do the same stupid thing. Before y'all take this out of context, you remember the global passive that happened in Honkai Star Rail that everyone was pissed about? That went on to become one of the highest grossing instances of in like the entire gacha genre. It set a new foundation of what is acceptable and what people are willing to spend money on in gacha. That was not them, women did this and now women went back. No, this is people, gacha gamers, men and women, when it comes to their game, are very lenient in what they're willing to accept and in what they're willing to allow to happen to them before they finally do something or have had enough and move on. Unfortunately, that's why we see Persona 5 to Phantom X still making a bunch, Infinity Nikki making a bunch, why Ethereum Restart. I mean, admittedly, that actually went down in revenue, but that's why Hoyo is still as predatory as it is. So at the end of the day, the reason that people went back and started spending on Infinity Nikki is not because they're dumb. It's not because they're females or they love abuse or anything like that. It's just at the end of the day, they are just gacha gamers. And gacha gamers, instead of being patient and putting their money where their mouth is, they would rather complain about it. And then after a little bit, go back and say, well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. you know, they've made small improvements. That's enough for me to start spitting. Pretty outfit, pretty new character, must spend. I mean, it's typically one of those things. People do dumb things often? They do, yeah, they do. Honkai Star Rail drama was loud in echo chamber of many content creators outside. The content creators who didn't care. No, there were a lot of people on social media that definitely cared. There were a lot of people on Reddit that also cared. Yeah, there were a lot. Now, that was largely global, I think, that cared, not Asia. So, but the outfit's so I know, and that's the reason I mentioned that is because that was Mrs. Stix. So, it's, you know, a beautiful outfit, hot man, sexy woman, you know, hot bikini outfit. Like, it doesn't matter. All people are like that. Whenever I see posts like this, I'm always skeptical because some people will see an art style they're unfamiliar with. So this guy says he's skeptical, right? And wait, I'm an artist myself, and there are times artists take shortcuts and render a part of the picture in a less perfect manner because something is farther away, has incredibly perceptive. So this guy's defending it. And then the top reply is, don't forget the building roof in the bamboo. That is the only clear evidence to me. The rest could be an art style, although the bamboo looks like it's horizontal. Exactly, like the fences. I mean, sure, like I've said, it's a large rectangular log, but you know, people are seeing it, and now I can actually see it myself. It looks like part of a building. Yep. And then the weird over on the right, the weird what should be trees going like this are both going. So yeah, this has got to be AI. There's no way to say it isn't AI. Anyone defending this is defending AI. Now you could say, you know what, it might not be AI, but it very much so looks like it. There are key defining features here that definitely make you think it's AI, but I don't know. I definitely feel like it is. 100%. I'm an artist, and I can tell you right now, no artist would make these mistakes. His brushstrokes make no sense. There you go. There you go. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.